So Marvel vs. Capcom rebranding, is that real? Well, nobody knows, man. I mean, here's the thing. It's either a situation where Marvel vs. Capcom 4 is going to be rebranded from Infinite, which is a possibility. That would kind of explain, both of these scenarios kind of explain why Capcom has not been saying anything and why Marvel hasn't been saying anything, because they essentially want you to forget. The interesting thing is that I predicted this back at the beginning of the year. I was saying how Infinite's not beating Dragon Ball. Like, there's no way. MVCI stands no chance against Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's just... It was doomed. So what they have to do is essentially... They have to go dark for a while and get people to forget. And that was my initial prediction of what they should do. Anyway, what's going on now is that there's been leaks from, like, Vergebin and a few other guys that... Or actually, just pretty much him, I think. That has been talking about a Marvel update of some kind, like an Infinite update. But he didn't know what it was and he didn't have any details. Long story short, he comes out yesterday or something and says that it's not Infinite, it's a rebranding of Marvel vs. Capcom 4. And that could mean several things. Or actually, it could mean two things. It means that they had an Infinite patch ready, and they had several characters ready to go for Infinite, or already in the works. And it was ultimately an Ultimate version. But they decided to hold off, because they stood no chance against Dragon Ball, and they didn't. And people were mad. Either that update is going to include a lot of stuff like visual changes and things like that, to actually make the game look good. And then they're going to rename it Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I don't think that's... I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I would be very happy with that, but I don't think that would be what would sell. If they just essentially rebranded a lot of the stuff that they were trying to fix in Infinite and the characters they were going to add, I don't know, man. I feel like you need an entire alteration. Like, the game has to change. And it has to look a lot different. Like, it needs to be dramatically different than what people remember. So, pretty much what I'm thinking is, if this is an MVCI update disguised as Marvel vs. Capcom 4, it might be a 2019 release. It might come out sometime next year. And they could actually make it an expansion on top of MVCI, you know what I mean? Like, you could actually pay money. Unlike Marvel 3, where you had to buy a complete new game when you got Ultimate, there would be a thing where, oh, you get about $20, and all of a sudden you get Marvel vs. Capcom 4 from MVCI. That makes sense to me, but I don't think that is what makes everyone happy. In my opinion, it makes the most sense that Marvel 4 is a brand new game. Like, Marvel 4 is a new game the same way that Smash Ultimate, the new Smash Brothers, is a new Smash game in comparison to Smash for Wii U. That is my prediction, where they're going to take an essential Marvel vs. Capcom 2 approach. And I think this is the best. I don't think that's what they're going to do. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, or even if they're doing anything. But I think approaching it like it's the new Smash is a good idea. And to sort of approach it with a Marvel 2 mindset. Get everyone in there. Get everybody in there. Is it a port? Yeah, exactly. No, it's a new game. It's a brand new port. I think it would carry a lot of things from Infinite that they did right. But I think they would definitely bring back 3v3. That'd be a smart thing to do. They would definitely stick X-Men right on the front. Like, make sure it has all the characters you love. We just got an announcement that the Fox deal's going through in January. Like, Fox deal is done in like 2 months. So, 2.5 months. So, that's about to be a non-issue, if that ever was an issue. I think approaching it like the Smash Brothers for Switch is the best way to go about it. I think that makes everybody happy. Try to get as many characters you possibly can get from UMVC3 in there. Try to get probably all the characters from Infinite in there, and more importantly, make it look amazing. Now here's the thing. That game ain't coming out for a long time. if that shit is true, if that's what's happening, if we somehow got a tip at a very, very, very early development progress update that was leaked from Capcom or Marvel, and these guys heard that, oh, they're just changing UMVCI to Marvel 4. If that's the case, that game's gonna be a while out. Not to mention the characters that they were already planning for Season 2 of Marvel Infinite. So there's already 6 more characters, you know? I mean, I'm fine with 2v2. I'm fine with 3v3 as long as they keep the active tag system. I mean, I think it's pretty important that Capcom knows, and I've made several videos about it, that there's gameplay things that need to stay. Like, we do not want to go back to dealing with Marvel 3 problems. No. And I think assists are kind of an archaic way of doing a tag game. You know what I mean? Even Dragon Ball FighterZ, for as amazing of a game it is starting to show a little bit of wear and tear with the fact that its assist issue with characters sort of limits some characters just to being assists in some way. So I think assists are not the way to do it. Assists, you need to make the game more inclusive with your team. So I think it's completely possible to make MVCI's tag mechanic work with 3v3. That's what game designers are for. Just make more cool shit. Like, make more stuff the team can do. That's completely fine. But ultimately what it comes down to, if that's real, if like they're gonna take the Smash approach and stick as many characters in there as possible, make X-Men a part of the huge branding, we're gonna have Bison shaking hands with friggin' Magneto on the front cover. That's amazing. We're gonna have Ryu and Wolverine shaking hands again, like, and the game is a big celebration, obviously, of Marvel vs. Capcom. That's literally what everybody wants. Like, I think I've tried to iterate this several times, but it's sort of hard to get my feelings out there in terms of what I think it means. People were mad at Marvel Infinite for a good reason. People were mad that MVCI was not up to the standards of which they had set the Marvel vs. Capcom series. They wanted to boycott and not buy the game and and express their anger in ways that was because they felt betrayed. You know, it wasn't just there was a hate brigade for no reason. There was a hate brigade for MVCI because people were already pissed from Street Fighter V and wanted problems solved in MVCI, and they created completely new problems. So people wanted to like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. People wanted that game to be badass, but it just never had an opportunity to make it look good for people. So that's why people were pissed. You get a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 scenario where, oh shit, all the characters that you wanted are back. All the graphics and the way it looks actually looks like a generational leap over the previous game. The cinematic elements look friggin' cool, and there's way more stuff you can do with your team. The chaos is dialed up to 11 once again. Giant hit sparks, and the game needs to look absolutely crazy, you know? Like Dragon Ball FighterZ was the perfect example that game pushes everything to like 11 in terms of a visual craziness, and like that, it's sold. People love it. Like, yes, fighting games should be dialed up to 11. And MVCI obviously tried to dial some visual aspects down. Like, it tried to like, oh, we can't have the stages be too crazy. Oh, we can't have the hit sparks and some stuff be too nuts. So, dial it all up to 11. Presentation looks amazing and have the game look good. Here's the other big thing. Next generation's around the corner. Like, next gen is coming. We're gonna get, Xbox might actually beat PlayStation to it, and the Switch is about to get an updated system next year, which has already been rumored and sort of confirmed by Japan in their media. So we're gonna get a new Switch console, we're gonna get a new Xbox, and potentially a new PlayStation within the next probable couple years. I'm gonna say it's like gonna be 2020 or something like that. New systems will be in our hands. The question at that point is, how far away is this thing? You know? If this game is just in its early phases right now, which, you know what, I'm completely fine with. I just want to live in that one reality out of 14,605,000 where Marvel vs. Capcom actually gets the attention it deserves. And that was a very, 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 very small chance. That shit was unlikely. And if I'm in the reality where this game actually can get its just desserts, where it actually could get the attention it deserves. And I don't mean the attention from players, I mean the attention from the developers. That's all I want. I'm willing to wait for that shit. I'm willing to Final Fantasy VII remake that shit. I don't even care if it comes out in the next, like, if it's gonna take years to make. I am fine with that. I am completely fine with that. I'm just happy I live in a world where FF7 Remake exists, you know what I mean? I feel the same way about another Marvel vs. Capcom, like Marvel 4. So if there is a Marvel 4 somewhere out there being considered, if not developed, according to these rumors, I'm ready to wait. I honestly am. I'm ready for them to take their sweet-ass time. We don't need story modes, we need badass arcade modes and a lot of characters. And it needs to look awesome. And it needs to take the shit that Marvel Infinite did well. Because a lot of what Marvel Infinite did well does not deserve to be ignored. I made a whole video about it. I made a whole video talking about the things MVCI actually did really well over Marvel 3 and over Street Fighter 5. Because there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff it did really, really poorly as well. But I think we're willing to wait. And it's my biggest hope that it's been rumored that Combo Fiend's a big part of it. That if he's working at Marvel now, that could be incredibly good news. That could mean that maybe some of the issues that jumped up with Infinite between working with Marvel maybe aren't going to be as egregious. So I'm willing to wait for the next generation of consoles to make Marvel Infinite even more awesome. If it's going to be like, if we got to wait till 2020 till we get a trailer, so be it, dude. We got plenty of fighting games coming out next year. It's not really like the hatred brigade was unjust. People had a reason to be upset with that game, with Infinite. But that hatred brigade could so easily be flipped if suddenly you release a ridiculously badass looking, like amazing visual style, bright and colorful and cinematic version of Marvel vs. Capcom 4. If that happens, the people that hate MVCI will be flipped, because guess what the people that hated MVCI were? Guess what those people were? They were Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom fans at one point. They loved it, and they felt betrayed. So, can't argue that I wasn't one of them, even though parts of the game made me happy. So, that's the thing. With X-Men, it's completely possible. It's completely possible to flip it. So, it's interesting. But the thing I will say is that even though these rumors are happening right now, like Marvel vs. Capcom in general has always been rooted in bullshit, like rumors and stuff. Like there was a Marvel 3 image that leaked back in like 2003 or something like that, with like Dante in it and shit. There was Ultimate Marvel 3 images all over the place. There was the Marvel 4 stuff back in 2017. There's always been fake Marvel vs. Capcom news all over the place. And Uncanny Edition, like Marvel's being pulled in October. None of this shit came true. Like bullshit rumors all over the place. And and the reason that happens is because you say there's a new Versus game coming out and everyone gets super excited. Everyone's like, oh fuck, this is gonna be crazy. Everyone's always freaking out about it. And that's why that shit exists, because it's like Marvel vs. Capcom is dream come true material type game. And it didn't happen for Infinite. Definitely didn't happen in Infinite. But yeah, you just think about Gambit and Jin and Asura being on the same team, or I get to play Rogue and Jill on another team again, then people get excited. I mean, you even think about that shit, you get excited. So, it is what it is. I hope it's true. But, like I told you, one chance out of like 14,605,000 the shit's gonna happen. It is that's still what I'm approaching this. My feelings have not changed. Whatever percentage you want that to be, it's like 0.000007%. That's how I still feel about it. If this is gonna happen, it's a 1 in 14 million chance. You don't piss off literally everybody. Literally everybody. And then get another chance to come back. I think only Marvel vs. Capcom has the opportunity to make that happen. Because it was so painfully obvious what MVCI needed to do right to make everybody happy. From day one, people were like, where's the X-Men? Why doesn't it look good? Where's Chun-Li's funky face? I want Marvel 4 to be real more than anybody, but I think I would be happiest by it being a proper, like, big game. Make it, spend time on it, make it look great. We don't need a story mode. Don't do a story mode. God, don't do a story mode. And the only way that people are going to be investing in a $59.99 Marvel vs. Capcom game again after Marvel Infinite is if there's some time.